A Nike employee or a former Nike employee who is making the rounds with a video that is now circulating the internet, talking about the situation involving Nike, Caitlin Clark, the slow play that they're doing, even doing so much to show how their stock is falling off the shelf. And let's talk about this video. You may have seen it by now. I'm going to show it to you again, but it's a former 15-year employee at Nike in the women's division, and
Caitlin Clark just made major waves in the sports world, and the sneaker industry is feeling it. In a surprising move, Adidas signed her to a high-profile deal that's turning heads, and it might have Nike rethinking its game plan. This isn't just another endorsement, it's a bold step that could shift the balance in the world of athletic brands. Clark didn't just respond to the competition, she made a statement that's got fans buzzing, social media lighting up, and sneaker lovers everywhere reevaluating their loyalty. So what exactly did she do? Why is Nike suddenly under pressure? And could this be one of the biggest wins Adidas has scored in years? Get ready, this story is just getting started.
Such a big game for Caitlin, her returning to her alumni in Iowa and her hitting that massive logo 3, the logo 3 during the game, that some of her sponsors would want to show her support on social media, do any sort of marketing to uplift her and uplift their brand. And one who did do that was Gatorade. They tweeted a photo of her and they said, "Real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark." Now, one of her lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was Nike. And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this? Yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a huge day for Caitlin. She's returning to her.
Caitlin Clark isn't just making headlines with her skills on the basketball court, she's also making waves off it. Without even trying, she's called out Nike in a way that's turning heads. The famous brand, known for championing top athletes, seems to have backed out of their promises to her. What was once a trusted symbol of sports excellence is now starting to look like a brand that can't keep its word. And yes, believe it or not, Nike appears to have gone silent on one of the biggest rising stars in sports, like someone avoiding responsibility instead of stepping up.
Nike, we need to talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's you and me talk about Caitlin Clark, since you refuse to talk about Caitlin Clark. I care deeply about you. I spent over a decade in your marketing organization. I spent several years trying to get into your organization, and it's been 3 years since I left your company. I'm just here as a friend. I care about you. I want to show you two different charts here. One, your stock price since 2021. It is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at...
Let's get straight to the point. Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in women's basketball right now. So why did Nike treat her like an afterthought? You don't offer a once-in-a-generation talent a lowball deal while hyping up other players like they're the next Michael Jordan. And especially not when Adidas is stepping up in a big way, putting serious money on the table and showing they're ready to lead the charge in supporting women's sports.
How in the world is Nike not going full-on Caitlin Clark phenomenon? You've got the most popular women's athlete in the world. Do they still not have a Caitlin Clark shoe out? My mind is blown by this. The minute that she started playing in the WNBA, you should have rolled out for every little girl in America the Caitlin Clark ones. And that should have been the baddest ass women's tennis shoe that has ever been.
And Adidas? They didn't just sit back and watch, they moved fast. The moment Caitlin's team showed even a hint of frustration with Nike, Adidas stepped in with a full game plan. They came offering her own signature line, custom colors, and, most importantly, real respect. This wasn't just a friendly gesture. They rolled out a full campaign with branding, strategy, and a promise to turn her into a household name. Think Taylor Swift levels of fame, only in sneakers and sports arenas.
A lot of conversation has been made around Caitlin Clark, her signature shoe, the Nike deal, and with how much Nike has been dragging their behind, which how much Nike has been moseying to the finish line when it comes to pushing the Caitlin Clark button, fans started speculating maybe this deal isn't as official as we thought it was. We get no signature shoe, no news of a shoe all season long. We get no merchandise all season long. We get no commercial all season.
Caitlin, it's time to move on from Nike. Treat them like a bad haircut before a big night, let it go. You're not just another athlete, you're the face of the game right now. If Nike can't recognize that, they don't deserve a seat at your table. Honestly, if you signed with Adidas, your shoe line wouldn't just do well, it would dominate. Sales would skyrocket. Kids would be lining up to get their hands on your sneakers, and resale sites would be flooded. You'd see students proudly rocking Clark ones like prized collectibles, and yes, even grandparents might be camping out at stores like it's the 90s all over again. Nike seems to have forgotten who they're dealing with. You're not a passing trend, you're the future of the sport. And instead of building a brand around you, they sent over a contract with all the excitement of a half-hearted party invite. That was a huge misstep. Once fans got wind of it, they spoke up. Social media exploded. NBA players chimed in. Even the sports media started buzzing, and let's not ignore that promo image of Angel Reese. Just one photo? And styled like a throwback from a reality show reunion? That's not how you spotlight your stars. It feels like Nike's out of touch and missing a big opportunity.
Caitlin Clark's Nike deal might be the worst endorsement deal in the history of professional sports. You guys remember this billboard that was put up in Iowa? Well, that's one of the last times that Nike has done anything for Caitlin Clark. They promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that also included her own signature shoe, which honestly, looking at it now, $28 million for 8 years is an absolute steal for this superstar, when a player like Wemby's Nike deal was rumored to be over $100 million. Caitlin has not only had an incredible rookie season, but she has also transformed the WNBA. She became...
Let's be clear, this isn't about saying Angel Reese doesn't deserve the spotlight. She absolutely does. But how did that end up being Nike's big statement for their rookie class? Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham, who actually plays alongside Caitlin Clark on the same team and has the stats to back it up, is nowhere to be seen. Where's Sophie's moment? Where's the bold campaign featuring Caitlin, Aaliyah Boston, and Sophie together, showing strength, skill, and style? Instead, we got a single, awkwardly staged photo of Angel that looked more like a promo shot from a dated reality show than a serious athlete launch. Sophie is out there grinding, making shots, diving for rebounds, and helping lead the Indiana Fever at the very center of this women's basketball boom. Ignoring her isn't just a missed opportunity, it's a major PR misstep. It's like being handed Beyoncé, Rihanna, and Adele for a halftime show and choosing Jason Derulo. It just doesn't make sense, and here's where Adidas once again shows how it's done. If they had Sophie on board, she'd be front and center in a campaign, on billboards, on screens, and in sold-out arenas. She'd be tossing sneakers into the stands like parade candy. The difference in how these two brands show up? Honestly, it's embarrassing. Now back to the shoe war, because it's heating up. Picture this, Adidas drops the Clark 1 Fire Edition. They sell out in 4.3 minutes. Kids are crying in the parking lot. Grown adults are wrestling over toddler sizes. That's the level of demand Caitlin brings. And Nike? They're still acting like they don't see it.
Yeah, she feels as though that this Nike deal has been racially motivated. She believes that there's a disparity in how Nike is prioritizing and rewarding athletes like Caitlin Clark. And it's just, she's saying that athletes like Caitlin Clark are getting the better deals compared to other athletes, especially women of color. She additionally expressed her frustration through social media in her podcast, The Reese Life, suggesting that Nike was not treating all WNBA players equally.
Meanwhile, Nike is acting like giving Caitlin a limited shoe release is some kind of big deal. In reality, it just feels weak. They probably thought that grouping her with other players in one campaign would look like teamwork. Spoiler alert, it just looks lazy. Like they tossed all the women athletes into one bucket and called it a day. Caitlin's fans noticed, and they're upset. If Nike had a suggestion box, it would be overflowing with complaints right now. Honestly, this might be the wake-up call Caitlin needs. Her brand isn't something to hide away in a boring boardroom presentation. She's not just a name on a list, she's the entire show. She sells out arenas, draws huge TV audiences, and makes incredible shots look easy. She's built her reputation and her influence with or without Nike, and honestly, despite them. So why not team up with Adidas? They're eager, confident, and ready to bet big on a woman who's changing the game. They'd probably give her her own division and even let her rename it Clark Performance if she wanted. Her fans would follow her anywhere, like she's leading the way through a crowded sneaker store. Meanwhile, Nike's scrambling to catch up, like they showed up late to gym class. And through it all, Caitlyn's quietly redefining what it means to be a rookie star, acting like all this shoe drama doesn't matter. Which, of course, only makes it matter even more.
All season long, and it had people thinking to themselves, maybe this deal that we all thought was finished and signed and completed isn't as finished, signed, and completed as we thought, or maybe they're renegotiating. Maybe Caitlin Clark on her end pulled back the reins, said, whoa, let's revisit this clause that I said if this doesn't get done in this amount of time, we need to revisit that. People were even speculating that. But today was the Nike quarterly call.
The truth is, this isn't just about a sneaker deal. It's about visibility, respect, and recognition. It's about not trying to fit the biggest star in women's basketball into a cookie-cutter marketing plan and hoping she won't notice. Spoiler alert, she noticed. And so did everyone else. Nike didn't just break their contract on paper, they broke the unwritten promise. The one that says, you support us, we support you. Instead of lifting Caitlyn up, they handed her a boring group deal that felt more like a rushed note from a meeting. She should walk, or better yet, strut, right into Adidas headquarters, sign the biggest endorsement deal women's sports has ever seen, and then watch her first signature sneaker set the whole industry on fire. Just when you thought Nike couldn't mess things up anymore, they dropped the ultimate curveball, announcing a shoe for A'ja Wilson. And look, that's great for A'ja, she deserves it. But this just highlights the bigger story. Nike's playing favorites and missing the bigger picture.
And Nike has been having one horrible week in the media, bro. And what's crazy is that everything started off great. They put out a wonderful Super Bowl commercial. Everybody was for Nike. You want to know what Nike did? Shot themselves in their own foot, man. Everybody's weighing in on this situation. We know they put out the wonderful Caitlin Clark commercial over the last weekend in the Super Bowl. Then the very next day, they messed up, put out another commercial. Didn't even mention Caitlin Clark's name at all. And then just yesterday, they re-edited the damn commercial and did a voiceover over it. Like, my goodness. If I was Nike, I'll just be quiet right now.
But here's the uncomfortable question everyone's asking. Where is Caitlin Clark's shoe? Oh, right, probably stuck in some forgotten folder on Nike's server, alongside a long list of athletes they forgot to follow up with in 2023. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is everywhere. More camera time with Nike than LeBron got during the NBA Finals. Billboards, promos, interviews, commercials, you name it, she's on it. Nike seems set on making Angel the face of the league's next chapter, while quietly ignoring the woman who's actually carrying the entire rookie class, Caitlin Clark, like she's got a backpack full of bricks and a laser-sharp court vision. At this point, it doesn't feel like a smart marketing plan. It's more like a full-on identity crisis, or maybe even a midlife sneaker meltdown. While Caitlin is lighting up arenas, breaking viewership records, and sending social media into a frenzy every time she drains a long-range shot, Nike's busy handing the spotlight to players whose biggest viral moments come from what they're wearing, not what they're doing on the court.
Hey, sports reporters, let's talk about Caitlin Clark and Nike. All right, now I got to thinking about yesterday's event, and that's what it was. This was a sporting event we witnessed yesterday afternoon between the Fever and the Brazil national team. You want to know why Caitlin Clark games are different, haters? It's because her games are an actual event that appointment television.
Caitlin Clark isn't just a great athlete, she's a cultural moment. Yet Nike is treating her like the backup plan you call only when all your other stars are busy. It's honestly kind of out of touch. If this were a dating show, Adidas would be coming in with roses and a heartfelt poem, while Nike's awkwardly texting, "You up?" at 2 a.m. And now, Nike wants us excited about A'ja Wilson's shoes again. Don't get me wrong, A'ja's amazing. But Nike is trying to sell us a stale croissant with sprinkles and saying, "Trust us, it's trendy," while ignoring the real cash cow, Caitlin Clark, who's scoring every time she's on the court. Caitlin hasn't been quiet about it either. She's doing everything right, showing up, playing hard, being gracious, and helping grow the league. Yet, she's treated like a nice extra instead of the main attraction. Imagine if Tom Brady won his rookie Super Bowl and got a "cool" while the new Gatorade ad featured the backup kicker instead. Adidas wouldn't do that. They'd have Caitlyn's face everywhere, on cereal boxes, sneaker tongues, maybe even the moon by now.
2 years. The Asia Wilson sneaker was reportedly kept a secret. 2 years. While last year Nike's being drugged through the coals because Asia Wilson doesn't have a sneaker, yet people are screaming for Caitlin Clark to have a sneaker. And then they make it seem like they changed course and Asia Wilson's going to get a sneaker first. But 2 years. A 2-year lie. That's what happened yesterday in the unveiling of the Asia Wilson sneaker by Nike, which had
Caitlyn's out here carrying the team, and Nike's response is basically, cool, but what if we hyped someone else instead? At this point, it feels less like a strategy and more like they're sabotaging their own brand. Nike didn't just miss the boat, they missed the entire marina. That's especially insulting when you think about the long game. If Nike had truly backed Caitlyn from the start, they'd be cashing in big time by now. Every sneaker drop would be a major event. Every commercial would be trending for days. Clark's fans are some of the most passionate and loyal in women's sports history. Watching Nike snub her again and again isn't just frustrating, it feels personal. It's a slap in the face to the very people keeping the league alive and growing. It's like asking Swifties to get excited about a Nickelback concert and pretending it's the same thing. Meanwhile, Adidas is lurking in the background like a Bond villain with a heart of gold, waiting for the perfect moment to step in. They want to give Caitlyn the respect, the spotlight, and the creative freedom she's clearly not getting from Nike.
If I recall, I could swear I remember that. And because of that, largely a lot of players didn't like Caitlin Clark very much last year. They had to teach her a lesson by absolutely fouling the ever-loving shit out of her. But let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant. Powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez-Chomont, aka Rudy the Hammer. This is where we talk facts over feelings. To all you who are back again, I appreciate y'all. Please be sure to like the video, leave a comment. And for those of you who are new, please be sure to pound that like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment. Nike unveiled Asia Wilson sneaker.
You've got the most popular women's athlete in the world. Do they still not have a Caitlin Clark shoe out? My mind is blown by this. The minute that she started playing in the WNBA, you should have rolled out for every little girl in America that Caitlin Clark wants. And that should have been the baddest ass women's tennis shoe that has ever been made in the history of Nike. How are you burying Caitlin Clark inside of a garbage ad, Nike, where you claim that the reason why women's athletes aren't successful is because of misogyny? What? Do you know men watch more women's athletics than women do? If misogyny actually existed, no male sports fans would watch women's sports and they would be even less popular than they already are. Most